No, I have not been consistent on this channel. I am so sorry, guys. Please forgive me. I will be consistent from now on. It's just a lot of things have been happening, and I wasn't consistent on this channel, and I also wasn't consistent on my other channel as well. But that won't happen anymore. I'm going to try as much as I can to upload every week or every 2 weeks. So let's get straight into this video: how to become emotionally unattached to the father of your child. Because some of you, even though some of you don't like the father of your child, or some of you may have been in a relationship with him, one thing I want you to be aware of is when you are consistently having sex with a man, you become emotionally tied to him. Your soul is tied to him. And whenever you are around him, or you're in his vicinity, or you're in his presence, sometimes what you can feel is a sexual attraction, and you might perceive that as, oh, you know, there's a connection there. Meanwhile, there's no connection there, but you're just sexually attracted to him because your body and his body are quite familiar with each other, and both of your bodies have produced a baby. So the thing is, what I've noticed is I've seen single mothers where the father of their child would treat them like trash. The father of their child would abuse them. The father of their child would make them feel useless. But whenever they see the father of their child, or whenever the man comes over to your house or you go over to his house, you end up sleeping with him. And the more you do that, the more he will look at you like a concubine. The more he will treat you like a concubine. He won't respect you. He won't look to you as high regard. He will continue to disrespect you and constantly remind you that you are not worth it. So we want to stop that behavior, because this channel is about seeing single mothers progress, live a successful life, get married to a man of their dreams, and live a productive life and become the woman that they've always wanted to be. But in order to be that woman, in order to be that successful single mother, we need to get rid of certain things that are toxic. And what is toxic is you sleeping with the father of your child when you know deep down this man ain't right for you. You know deep down this man don't love you. You know deep down that this man is irritated with your presence, but is loving the fact that he has access to your body. So one of the ways that we can stop is to, first of all, stop having sex with this man. I know it's easier said than done, but that is literally the first step. And what you are going to do is to start creating boundaries. Now, I've done a video on boundaries that need to be created. I will leave a link to that video on this channel. Sorry, I will leave a link to that video on this video. You'll be able to click on that. You need to stop having sex with the father of your child. I've been a victim of this, where after I had the child, knowing fully well that the father of my child didn't like me, he didn't even like the fact that, you know, I gave birth and all of that. And there were times where we ended up doing it together. Okay, and on top of all of that, that came with a lot of insult, disrespect, and all that kind of stuff. So I know exactly what I'm talking about. You need to stop fornicating with him. And one of the ways to do that is to set boundaries straight up from the beginning. You do not go to his house, and he does not come to your house, period. Okay, if you guys need to meet up, people need to be there, or it needs to be done in a public area. And I think in order for you to be unattached to him emotionally, you also need to be celibate for some time. Okay, so what do I mean by celibate? Meaning you're not going to have sex with any other man for some time. At least, personally, my religious belief is that you're not supposed to have sex until you get married. But obviously, for some of you, you're not Christian. So minimum 3 years. But I don't advise you to have sex before you get married. If you have, you can start from today and stop that. Because that alone will allow you to be emotionally attached to somebody who doesn't like you. Okay, remember, men have no problem sleeping with a woman that they don't like. And single mothers tend to be a victim. Okay, because you think, oh God, there's a connection there. There's a child there, you know, and you're imagining family and all this stuff. And he's just like, I just love your body, have access to your body, don't care about your face, don't care about what's going on with you. Just do the do and go. Okay, so it's really important to understand that. Where do you stand with this guy? Is he just the father of your child? he's definitely not your friend, because any guy that's had access to sleep with you and had the privilege to sleep with you is not your friend. So if he's not your boyfriend, he's not your husband, he's just the father of your child, then things need to be kept that way. So you create boundaries, you stay away from sex, even from any other guy, because if you stop having sexual intercourse with the father of your child, but you're doing it with other guys, you're going to attract men who are just like the father of your child. Okay. And you're going to also sabotage yourself and do things as well in regards to the way you used to do it with the father of your child. So you need to go through some healing internally and externally, and some reconditioning of the mind. Okay, the next point that I have here is to obviously give your life to Christ. The reason why you need to be saved, you need to have Jesus Christ in your life, is when you are fornicating, okay, there's a veil that covers your eyes. That veil allows you to be naked to any man who wants to sleep with you that you like physically. That veil allows you to sleep with men that are not good for you. That veil allows men to have access to your body and to spiritually deposit things in your body that will in the future boomerang. Okay, because when there's a when fornication is going on, there's a veil that doesn't allow you to see that person for who they truly are. And every judgment you make, every good judgment you make towards that man, is because you are enjoying fornication with him. So when you come to Christ and you give your life to Christ, he takes that veil away from you, and then now you get to that point where it's like you see a man that you find attractive, but you're not easily moved to get into bed with him really quickly. There's a certain level of discipline. You're no longer comfortable with just being naked in front of a guy that hasn't signed any marital contract or hasn't told you that they want to fully commit to you yet. So that's why that's one of the benefits of having a relationship with God and being saved as well. It would save you from so many humiliation and diseases and unwanted pregnancy and all of that, because that veil of fornication that's over your eyes will be removed. Okay, the next point here that I have here is to divert all the attention that you have for the father of your child, divert it to God, and to also focus on yourself and start doing some inner work. Because a woman who has no problem sleeping with any man, or no problem sleeping with a man that consistently disrespects her, consistently treats her like trash, okay, because some of you, the father of your child is treating you like rubbish. He's treating you like you're just an object. He's treating you like you're just another body on his bed. He's treating you like you're my concubine, whether you like it or not. What happens is when you divert all that attention you have for him and put that on yourself, you're able to renew your mind. You're able to turn your life around for better. And when you do that, there's an inner glow that comes within you that then reflects on the outside, that when you look at the father of your child again, you no longer see him the way you used to see him, because now you have divert that attention from him to God. And that's what God does. When you give God your full attention, he then opens up the area that needs attention in your life, and then you're able to work on yourself. And what you find is the more that you work on yourself, the more he will look for ways to come back into your life to ruin it again. And you have to make sure that once that door is shut, it is shut for life. Okay, so I'm not here to say don't talk to the father of your child forever, but what I am here to say is we need to emotionally unattach ourselves to him for good, in order for us to move forward and to make sure that there is no hindrance for you to find a man that would want to fully commit to you, or one that wants to fully get married to you. The next one that I have here is to stop being emotionally available for the father of your child. So if the father of your child is calling you because he's got issues with his family, he's got issues with his girl, he's got issues at work, you're not his wife to cancel him. You're not his therapist. You're not his mother. So therefore, you are not obliged to be there for him emotionally. We need to understand that everybody has their own role to play in everyone's life, and you need to know where you stand in people's life. And when you know where you stand in people's life, then you know what role to play and what role you shouldn't play in their lives. So when he starts opening up about emotional stuff that he's going through, he's doing that because he knows that Every woman loves a man that shows his emotions, because that gives her access to console him, to create a bond, you know, that kind of thing. So the more you become emotionally unavailable for him, then the more distance you're creating, and that is what's going to be good for you and your future spouse, and for your future relationships as well. The next one is no longer sleeping over in anybody's house, which is something that I addressed previously as well. And I need you to understand that when you allow a man to take advantage of you sexually, he will take advantage of you. I don't know any man who wakes up and sets boundaries for a woman not to come to him. They love it when women come to him, but it's up to you for you to set that boundary, for you to put things in place, because this is your life now. Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't know how many other women he's sleeping with when you're not around. You don't know how many other women he's, you know, touching and feeling and all that. You don't know. And if he takes a disease from one woman and then you accidentally sleep with him, then you now have it. And he's not going to be there for you when you're sick, when you're in the hospital. He's not going to be there for you, because it's not his job too. He's not your husband, he's not your boyfriend, so he don't have to. So when you understand the consequences of what you're doing, you're going to detach from the father of your child. Some women are out here moving as if they're married to the father of their child, and they're not. And they're going shopping together, they're being there for each other emotionally, they're doing things that couples do, but the dude hasn't said anything about being in a relationship with you, about wanting to marry you, or wanting to date you, you know, wasting time. And then what happens is, when they find a dude getting with somebody else, then you grow to be bitter, and now you want revenge. Okay, so we have to detach ourselves and not be emotionally involved with the father of your child. Us as women, we are emotionally driven. Men are logically driven. So we have to learn to control our emotions. We have to learn to be realistic with ourselves. We have to learn to put ourselves first, because nobody would treat you as priority if you don't treat yourself as priority. Nobody else would do it. I'm telling you right now, nobody else would do it. I've seen so many single mothers stranded due to wasting time with the father of their child. And the father of the child has gone on to marry a woman who's doing exceptionally well in work, in money, in finance, in every other thing. And these women are out here stuck in council homes, bad estate, bad homes, struggling financially, everything, because you're putting too much of energy, too much of your time onto a dude that doesn't want to be with you. Like I said before, just because he's the father of your child, that don't mean you are obliged to be there for him when he needs you. You're not. Okay? You're not his emotional supporter. You're not the person to help him with therapy or to counsel him. He knows where to go if he needs that. So in order for us to move forward as single mothers, we have to get rid of toxic baggage and luggage and all of that. And one of that is not attaching yourself emotionally to the father of your child. Now, I've done a video on boundaries. Make sure you watch that video on boundaries, so you know other boundaries that you need to set in place. But it's also important for you to make sure that you do accept Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, because that way, that veil that has been there, that is allowing you to fornicate and still sleep with the father of your child, allowing you to be a tool in his hands, will stop. All right, so that's it for this video. Hit the like button, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, because I give more advice for single mothers on TikTok. I do a lot of talking there. I also do it on Instagram, and I'm gonna see you guys later. Bye.